Inside the Magic, covering Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios, and more.
On your feet, and please welcome our host, Mr. Stephen Colbert!
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Stephen Colbert. I am so excited. I just flew in from Dagobah, and boy, are my S-foils locked into attack position. And if you don't understand what I just said, what are you doing here? Now you might be saying to yourself, wait, what is Stephen Colbert doing at the episode 9 panel? I know he is a lifelong fan of Star Wars, but doesn't he do a TV show 5 nights a week in New York City? Doesn't he have a show tonight? How could he be here? Well, let me ask you this. Am I really at this panel right now? Isn't it just as likely I'm in lotus position on the roof of the Ed Sullivan Theater, force projecting myself onto the stage right now? Know it. Go ahead, try to strike me down. I'll become more powerful. He tried. I'll become more powerful than you could never imagine. Also, and this is very important, do not try to strike me down, because I might actually be here and that would hurt. I also do have a security force with me, and at least one of them is a no-gree.
Oh, deep cuts.
Again, if you don't know what that means, why are you here? We know Star Wars isn't just a movie, or a cartoon, or a Christmas special, or a breakfast cereal, or a soap dispenser, or a Pez dispenser. It's not even just an ice mold that makes one giant cube in the shape of a Death Star that makes your cocktail very fun. Yes, it's all those things, but it's not just that. It's also a place. It's a universe. It's where we go to get lost, to get inspired, to feel understood, to feel like anything is possible. 40 years in, more expansive and diverse than ever any of us can imagine, being that young kid on Tatooine, about to take our first step into a larger world. I was once that kid, and on my best days, I still am. Now, a few months ago, my friend, J.J. Abrams, mi compadre, my soul cycle emergency contact, called me up and he said, Steve, would you do me a favor? And I said, of course. Why? Because again, he's my friend, and I like to repeat that every so often. But he's also a creative genius who understands the spirit and the joy of science fiction. And perhaps most importantly, because he let me visit the episode 9 set. I know things. Oh, the things I know. I got to go in the thing, and I saw the place where they were, with the people you remember from that place. And you're not going to believe the new things for them theys who usually have other things. But then now they have a new one. This is going to be so much more exciting when we can use nouns. Of course, we're here today to talk about Episode 9, the movie that completes the Skywalker saga. So, let's get this thing started. It is my pleasure to introduce the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. here we go. Now,
Hello, Chicago.
Kathy, JJ, obviously this room is electric. It's soaked with gasoline right now. We're just gonna light a match. We know how these people feel. They're just on the edge of their seats with anticipation. What is it like for you, for the people who have created this film, to have that first moment of revelation, like the things that you know you're going to give to the audience today, the things they're going to learn? You've done this before. What's this moment like right before you open the present?
You know, the thing I think about all the time is the responsibility we have. And we have it with all of you, and it's something that we talk about every minute that we're involved in making these movies. And this one in particular, I think the little film you saw at the front end, George was saying that this is the third act of a structure. It is. That's exactly what it is. And we've immersed ourselves in everything George created, talked about it endlessly, and we're so excited because I think what you're going to end up seeing, you're going to be so happy with. We are incredibly excited to show it. And this guy sitting next to me, he cares more than anybody I know.
Well, first of all, thank you all for coming. This is unbelievable to be here. I have to say, in answer to your question, Stephen, hello. In answer to your question, I think that, I love you also. The thing is that at this stage, we've been so sort of in that focused cave of the editing room and working so hard with a very small group of people. And you're aware, of course, what Star Wars means to so many outside of those rooms. But to come here and to have this kind of warm reception and to be viscerally reminded of what it means is the most amazing and exciting shot in the arm. And like Kathy said, we cannot wait for you to see what we're cooking up.
Okay, so with that in mind, where are you in production right now?
Well, we're editing and we're doing visual effects. When you wrap a movie like this, as you all know and can imagine, the directing doesn't stop, the story doesn't stop. So you keep. They actually love each other. They love each other. It's the greatest thing in the world. The process continues, and so we're editing, and things are going pretty well so far.
Well, Kathy, as you were saying, this is the final movie of a 9-movie arc. What's that like? That's unprecedented in filmmaking, to have this one story, over this period of time. As you said, the third, a three-act plays, as it were.
Yeah, it is, and I think that what's also fascinating is it's over 40 years. So the context that George was working within, it's 40 years later, and to keep this relevant and meaningful to the characters and to the people experiencing this story, it has to feel like it's of its time. And I think that what we've done is we've taken to heart everything that inspired George, and then I think the inspiration that JJ has brought to this has given it even more depth.
Also, this movie, in addition to being the end of 3 trilogies, it also needs to work as its own movie. And that's been part of the fun of it, part of the challenge of it. But this movie, it's about this new generation and what they've inherited, the light and the dark, and asking the question as they face the greatest evil, are they prepared? Are they ready? And it's been really incredible to look at this thing that George created and to bring it to a close in this way about this new generation.
It is so hard to sit here next to you and hear you say the greatest evil without going, who is? What is? Can you give us any hint?
Kathy?
Okay, moving on. Moving on. I was lucky enough to meet, interview Carrie Fisher a few times, and the little bit I knew Carrie Fisher, I know there's fundamentally no way to replace her as a person or as that person playing the character of Princess Leia. How did you approach filling the void left by Carrie in this movie?
Well, as I've said, we couldn't. And as Chris Terrio, the co-writer, and Kathy and Michelle Rejwan, producers, we all talked about how to move on. I mean, she was the best. She was glorious. She was amazing. And we all just loved her. And I knew her for many years before as well. Episode 7. She was the greatest. It was impossible. There was no way. What are you going to do? You don't recast that part, and you don't suddenly have her disappear. And the weird miracle of having had a number of scenes from Force Awakens that had gone unused, looking at those scenes and starting to understand that there was actually a way to use those scenes to continue her story so that it would be her. The idea of having a CG character was off the table. We never even wanted to try. And the idea of saying, well, what if we could actually write scenes around her? So it would be her performance, she's in the movie. And the crazy thing is, and I say this, like emotionally, it's every day it hits me that she's not here. But it's so surreal because we're working with her still, if that makes sense. She's in scenes. She's so alive in scenes. And the craziest part is how not crazy it feels. She is there in these scenes. In some scenes with Billy, her daughter, who is in the movie as well. And it's just, Princess Leia lives in this film in a way that is kind of mind-blowing to me.
What are some of the differences you can, like what are some of the new things in this film that you can share with us? When last we saw the cast, they were all spread out. When those stories ended, they were not together. They didn't split up. Are they? Do we pick up exactly where we left off? Can you tell us anything about how far the stories have progressed?
What I will say is that the movie doesn't pick up immediately after the last film. Some time has gone by, and what I'll say is that in this movie, and you can tell by that picture, it's the very beginning of it. But this is an adventure that the group goes on together, and this is, and it's a story that I think one of the great things about the movie, getting to work on it, was the dynamic between the characters. They are just the most wonderful together, and that's the thing I'm sort of most excited for you all to see.
What about your use of CGI versus practical effects or locations, or like is there can you talk about that at all?
The director, go ahead.
Thanks. I want to tell you so much, but I will say this, that as with the Force Awakens, what we tried to do, despite this being this epic space adventure that takes place on many worlds and in many places,
Just look for a red dot.
that we did everything we could, building sets, interior and exterior, going to locations in and around in England and in Jordan and other places. We did everything we could to have it in camera. One of my favorite things as a kid, and I still remember that visceral feeling at 10 years old, seeing, looking at what I learned later was Tunisia, but it felt like you knew you were in a real place. It was, and to one of the infinite number of brilliant strokes that George had was to tell the story in physical, actual, real locations. That's Jordan, the location. Wadi Rum, where they shot, Lawrence of Arabia, and you get there and you're just looking around, you can't believe what you're seeing, and it's amazing to have the sort of that kind of beautiful nature as a backdrop for sequences. So we tried to keep it as real as possible, as physical as possible. It's better for the actors, better for the movie.
Kathy, what was the last day of shooting like?
It was emotional, and I can't really give you details except to say that.
All right.
Remember, this
Were there a lot of
remember,
people
this
on
is the
set?
end
Were there
of
very
the
few
three act.
people on set?
There were a few people on set, yeah.
There were people.
Just a few.
Oh, I get it now. You asked me to come to Chicago to ask questions, not get answers. Okay. Whew. All right, let's, anything else you want to cover before I bring out some cast members? Sure? Cast members. Cast members. All right, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome C-3PO Anthony Daniels and R2-D2. Anthony, hello.
Hello.
Anthony, you're in every film. 3PO is what binds the films together and surrounds them. What is it like to be a physical embodiment of the Force throughout all of these films?
I never knew. I mean, I don't know where it is, but yes, what a beautiful way. But I want to say something first. On tweets today, people were all over the world saying, wish I could be here. And I know we're on camera, so I don't know where the camera is, but whoever is in Australia or all the other countries around the planet, I want to give you a big wave and you're here in spirit, okay? Because not everybody can do that. So yes, one of the things you will notice about 3PO is he is the voice of reason. I mean, you think Obi-Wan Kenobi was it all. 3PO is the one who tells you that you're in danger. You should get out of there, yes? And what does everybody do in 3 trilogies of 9 movies? They say, shut up. Well, I'm here to say, enough. Deploy lights back.
When you return to playing 3PO, do you ever say to yourself, oh, I wonder if I'll still fit in it? It's like a bride going back to the wedding dress.
Totally like that. And on the first fittings, generally, a bit of a squeeze. But then I'm back in the gym. Look at that. I'm on a diet, whatever, and I squeeze back in. Because if I don't, what was really scary in that wonderful little pre-show history film you showed, it had a picture of me with hair as black as JJ's. Be warned, JJ. Yeah, it's, being 3PO has all sorts of parameters to it, but I just love the guy, so I've got to tuck inside there somewhere.
If 3PO was real and you could purchase one...
Excuse me.
I know it was real and it was available, no longer available, a discontinued model a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. If 3PO was still under production, would you want your own 3PO unit?
Are you crazy? Look, things like Alexa and Siri terrify me. I was once a sat-nav for the car. Yeah. At the next roundabout, turn left, take the fifth exit. Shut up! How did I know? Well, that was true. I actually had to turn myself off. It happens regularly every morning from the mirror reset. Would I want 3PO? I would want, I regard 3PO as my best friend in many ways. And I would genuinely want a best friend who cared for me as much as 3PO does.
Stephen, is this the most satisfying interview so
All of this is exciting to me. All of it. I can't believe I get to be on stage with C-3PO.
I can't believe I'm on stage with you three. I mean, look at this. This is a fan fest all of our own.
Okay. I understand you have a book, Anthony, that's being announced tomorrow. You can't give us the title of the book. Okay. Right?
Right.
You can't give us the title.
Right.
But can you give us the title that you wanted to give the book that your editors said the audience wouldn't understand?
He said the public won't understand, worldwide they won't understand. I was very hurt. I came up with this really cute title and they said, no, won't work.
What was the title?
Well, actually, would it be a scientific experiment?
Sure.
They said you would never understand. Are you ready? If you understand the title of my memoirs of Star Wars, and you get it, will you cheer?
Yes!
If you think indeed it was a numbnut title and you don't get it, will you boo? Are you ready? And the other people, are you ready? And the people up in the cheap seats, are you ready? The title of my memoirs was Tedding the Odds. Do you like their title as well?
All right, let's bring out our next cast member. The long-awaited, much-beloved Landau Calrissian and
You're all so sweet. Thank you so much. And there's an awful lot of you, my goodness. Love back to you. Love back to you. You know, I'm a very lucky person. You know, I didn't expect to be in this little adventure. I agree with you. But I got lucky. And I ended up working with somebody that I have a tremendous regard for. J.J. Abrams, I love his name, J.J. He's a beautiful young man. He's extraordinary. And, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. You know, I think 60 years I've been doing this. And I've been fortunate enough to work with some pretty extraordinary people in my lifetime. But this is probably I regard this as a real highlight for me. You know, it's a true, genuine highlight in my life.
well, Billy, what was it like to come back to a character after so many decades? Was it like riding a bike, or did you have to? How did you find Lando again?
How did I find Lando again?
Yeah, was it easy to slip back?
Lando
into the
never
game?
left me. A shade older, but he's still there. He's still hanging in there.
Well, Kathy, JJ, what was it like on the first day, the first time that Billy D. Williams came back?
Jaw-dropping. I mean, I think all of us just kept looking at one another. I know you didn't quite realize just how awestruck we were, but I mean, it was amazing.
It was a big group scene, so there were a lot of extras, and Billy came onto the set, and it was like, and it just went silent, and everyone's just like watching, and it was so sweet to see the reaction from, you know, the people who were working on the movie. But it was, you know, it was honestly an emotional thing. It really was.
And I would say the thing that I always love with JJ is that he'll turn to me and he'll go, "Oh my God, can you believe this is happening? Can you believe this is happening?"
You know, listen, it's nice to have all of this, these accolades and all of this admiration. But you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, this acting stuff, and to really have an opportunity to work with some really wonderful, extraordinary people is something I really enjoy more than just making money. But don't get me wrong, I love making money. But, you know, just to be able to hang out, play around with ideas, and with people like you, Monsieur, JJ.
Well, speaking of money, Lando is not entirely a bad guy, and he's not entirely a good guy either. Like the last time we saw him, yes, he's Han's friend, and he comes to the rescue, but he's a little bit of a lovable scoundrel at the same time. Is he the same guy?
There's a thing called expediency.
Oh, expediency.
You know, when you're in a situation, especially when you're up against somebody like a Darth Vader, you have to, and you own what is pretty much like owning Las Vegas. If you're like a Steve Wynn, you know, kind of an entrepreneur, and you have this kind of threat. Here's a guy chasing after, Boba Fett's chasing after. I have to explain this stuff to people. I don't understand why.
You don't have to explain it to these people.
You know, I get sick and tired of being accused of betraying Han Solo.
Never gonna live down.
It's like first person singular. You know, all of a sudden I'm talking about me instead of Lando Calrissian. But anyway, he was up against Darth Vader, but he had to figure something out. Wait, did anybody die?
Played it right. He played right. He rolled the dice and he won.
So, you know, I had to figure out how to prevent the complete demise of my friend and his friends. So,
really, in retrospect, the hero of all 9 movies, Lando Calrissian. If you think about it. All right. Exciting. Well, we have more cast members to introduce now. It is my pleasure to introduce the next generation cast. Please welcome Daisy Ridley. We've got to get some questions. All right. Hey, everybody. Just because there was so much cheering, let's go over the names again. Daisy, John, Oscar, Kelly, Jonas, Naomi, and of course, BB over here. Naomi, you're the newest member of the crew.
It's a lot.
Welcome to your first Star Wars celebration.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. I'm very ready to celebrate. I've been waiting for this. It's cool. Hi. Yeah.
Well, what's it like to get the call that you're going to be in the next Star Wars film? Like, where were you when you find out?
I was in bed. I got the call at like 7 o'clock in the morning. My best friend was sleeping downstairs, and my dad was in the house, and I like yelped. My dad ran up the stairs, and he just sat at the end of my bed, and he just had his hands like on his mouth, and I like open eye sobbed. I was sobbing, but then my best friend was sleeping downstairs, and I couldn't tell nobody, so I had to just like, I went down and made a cup of tea, and I was like, "You're right, babe, everything's cool, like, yeah, just it was incredible. It's mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing.
What did your dad say when you told him?
My dad was telling me to shush because I was talking too loud on the phone. So he was more telling me to be quiet so that my best friend wouldn't hear. But he knew from the beginning. Sorry, JJ.
So we don't know anything about your character yet.
No.
We don't know your character. We don't even know your character's name. Can she reveal the character's name?
Thank you. Her name is Jana. I can't. It's so cool. Yeah, man, that's wicked. I mean, all I can really say is like the original group are going on like this epic adventure together, and I'm like so excited about where Jana crosses paths with them. It's wicked.
Now, I've been told that there are rumors on the internet that your character is Lando Calrissian's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go full Maury Povich on you right now. Is your father on this stage?
Listen. Lando is a very charming man, so he could have children all over the universe. You know, right?
Now, before you did this part, your most famous role was playing Lady Macbeth.
Yeah.
Does Shakespeare help prepare you for space opera?
No, nothing. I don't think anything can prepare you for this. Actually, not any kind of training at all.
All right, John. Welcome back to Star Wars. Now, I know there's very little you can reveal.
As always.
So I will give you a choice. Either tell me what happens to Finn, or try to explain Brexit to these people.
I'm going to go with that Finn. But well, actually, hi guys. It's good to be back. It's amazing. Finn y'all see my cutlass? On this adventure, I think Finn has just found his footing and his identity within the Resistance. I think the last two movies, Finn couldn't decide where he belonged, and in this film, he's a full-fledged Resistance, sexy young man. As you can see by the picture.
Is that a special division of the Resistance, sexy young man?
Honestly, at the beginning, my big thing was costume. I always felt that Finn didn't have his identity through his costume. And JJ was like to me, "You're gonna love this one." And I saw the blue pants coming out of the cupboard where Michael Capkin was coming out with it, and I was just like, I'm in Star Wars now. So it's been great.
Now, Finn's enemy over the last two films has been Captain Phasma. It seems like she died in The Last Jedi, but it also seems like she died in The Force Awakens.
Old news, she's gone. Got rid of her.
Does Finn get any closure in this movie?
Emotional closure, you know. Sure, I mean, I don't think about her at night and stuff. But I definitely feel that there's some form of closure within who he identifies with, who is family, what is love, what is friendship, and that's what defines him in this movie. But Phasma, yeah, she did. She did.
Now, Finn has fought Captain Phasma twice now?
Yeah.
But could Finn take Brienne of Tarth?
I'm not even going to meet her, I'm going to just shoot her from the building and be like, yeah, she's done! She's done! No, I don't think so.
Now, it seems like there might have been a little bit of a love triangle going on with Finn and Rey and Rose.
You add Poe there as well.
Very complicated.
Very complicated. We've got a few aliens that have been looking at Finn a certain type of way, so I don't know if they want to add their names to the list. But yeah, it's a love pentagon, man. It's just, there's a lot going on.
Finn the galaxy's most eligible bachelor?
I think he is, period point blank. Finn is single and willing to mingle, so...
It's amazing.
Oscar, good to see you again. I understand. Let's get to the heat of the meat right away. Who's a better pilot, Poe or Han Solo? Yeah.
You did that, huh?
We're gonna go there.
You did that to me. There was so much goodwill a second ago. And you just burned it in front of my eyes. All right, look, no one can pilot the Millennium Falcon like Han. Nobody. However, Poe is he can literally fly anything. I'm just saying Poe is the better Uber driver.
I don't know how I could.
You guys like a scarf?
Enjoy
Scarf.
I'm not sure if I can enjoy this movie more than I'm enjoying watching you enjoy these photographs right now. That's a high bar. Now, you were born in Guatemala, raised in Miami.
It's Miami. 305. Cuban father, so Cuban in Guatemala.
Star Wars has been translated into every language on the planet. What's it like doing press around the world when you're able to speak to the Spanish-speaking press in their own language about the films? Like, how would you describe Poe or this film in Spanish?
Well, it's just like this, but in Spanish. Very similar.
Is Star Wars, forgive my ignorance, is Star Wars in Spanish or is
No, it's Star Wars. It's actually Guerra de las Galaxias. Is the other one.
Sorry, it's what?
Guerra de las Galaxias.
Which means?
Well, actually, I guess like War of the Galaxy. Yeah. He's Bebocho. And your buddy is Arturito. Little Arthur.
Now, Poe is always cracking a joke at the darkest moments. Whether it's taking on a dreadnought, an X-wing, or being interrogated to Kylo Ren. Is everything a joke to him? Why won't he take any of this?
I think he takes his love for Finn very seriously. Very seriously. He's a human, he has no real special powers. Yes, he's a great pilot, but deep down he's just a human, and I think one of the most human things you can do is find the irony and the humanity in even the most crazy, darkest moments. I think that is an element of the Force. Humor.
Poe was born into war. He was from Yavin 4, the planet the original Death Star tries to destroy in Episode 4. And his parents both fought the Empire. Let's say the war ends one day. What's Poe do after the war is over? What's his fault?
Uber seems like a good place to go. Space Uber? Yeah, space lift. I don't know, it's true. He seeks a bit of that adrenaline, so he'll have to find it somewhere.
Daisy Ridley.
Hi, everyone. Thank you! 27. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Never thought this would happen.
Has Rey read the books she took from the tree library? Knoxville.
I mean, as we saw, those books are pretty large. She may have got started. How far through? Who knows? I don't know if we've talked about the portion of time it's been since the last one.
How long has it been since the last
Yeah.
one, JJ?
Have we said? It's been a little while. So I guess she's getting through. That's me with a stick.
She doesn't have them on Audible. She can't just listen to them.
That would be fantastic. In Yoda sentences, you were always sort of trying to figure out what it meant.
Well, Rey has crazy strong force powers now, but her lightsaber's in pieces. Is she rebuilding that lightsaber, or are we in a start from scratch situation here?
Well, my answer is not the end of the story, because there are many more months to come and a film to come. But the lightsaber that Rey inherited from Luke lives.
Are there any, and I'm sure you can't tell me what they are there any new force powers that we were not aware of before that appeared? For instance, we were thrown for a delightful loop on the force projection of Luke at the end of Episode 8. Is there any new things that Rey is going to pull on us? Is she going to be able to pull down a Star Destroyer with her mind? Can she force flow through time? Is there? You don't have to give us, but is there any new tricks?
This is a JJ question.
What are the tricks, JJ?
I think that's a yes. You have to ask him.
No, I used to love Daisy. I thought she was awesome. I'll say this, there are some extraordinary things that the character and Daisy did in this movie, and she's not. And some of the things, obviously we don't want to say anything at this moment, but I will say that some of the stuff that happened was possible because we had the most incredible stunt coordinator, Eunice Hoodhart, who was just the greatest, and she did remarkable work with the entire cast, and some of the things that you allude to will be seen. There she is now, Eunice. She's the best. Anyway, yes, there are some other things, and you'll see them soon.
Daisy, what's up with Rey and Kylo Ren? Or Rose and Finn? From your point of view, what's going on here? Where's this relationship going?
I guess the Kylo and Rey thing we'll have to wait and see. The Rose and Finn thing, I don't know. Finn? What do you think?
I mean, she my girl, you know, my girl. I guess it's nice chemistry. Just nice chemistry is all about. It's in the middle of war. We're trying to figure ourselves out.
A lot of
Love you
crazy
one
things
day,
happen.
I love you the next. It's a very distracting place to fall in love.
I guess, Daisy, what I'm asking is, do you have any more forced visions of him semi-naked? Let's sell some tickets right now. Let's sell some tickets.
I think I can confirm there are no more semi-naked Kylos. Unfortunately.
Only full. Only full. We had to take it up a notch, guys.
Since Adam's not here, can I ask a question that anybody here might know? His chest in episode 8, did he wax? Because it's completely, is that a Brazilian? Why is there no? He's a big man, not one hair on his chest.
When he turned around, it was as surprising to the crew, I think, as to everyone. He's a big man. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Talk to me about his lightsaber.
And John Boyega was
Okay.
and Stephen Colbert was never invited back.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Really overwhelming. Hi, hello. Thank you.
How are you?
How's it going, everybody?
Now, let's talk about a little character preparation for this movie. You narrated the audiobook version of the novel that tells Rose's backstory, Cobalt Squadron.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did getting to know your character in book form give you more to bring into this film?
I had never done an audiobook before, and the thing I learned is that it's a very long process. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of backstory with Rose and Paige, her older sister, so I think it definitely helps me in this upcoming one. Yeah.
As a trained mechanic, what do you think that Rose would think of the Millennium Falcon?
It's really cool.
But universally regarded as a hunk of junk.
Universally regarded, everyone in that resistance staff thinks it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah.
You kiss Finn again in this movie?
Listen, all I'm gonna say is Finn's a very eligible bachelor. Much like John Boyega. I mean, sorry.
Okay.
Look,
Is that a yes or a no? And please say yes. I hope you say yes, or else I have a lot of fan fiction that goes in the shredder. Now, when last we saw your character, where was she?
she was in a coma. Yep, asleep. Taking a rest. I would like to do that too.
Can you tell me, JJ, if everybody we see on stage right now ends up together in this film?
Can I tell you that?
When you say that they're going on this adventure together,
Yeah.
does that include everyone we're seeing, including Kelly?
I will say that, how dare you?
I am not your agent right now. I am their agent right now.
I really appreciate that, Stephen. Way to pit me against my friends. I would say that you have to see what happens in the thing, but I will say that I was grateful to Ryan Johnson for so many things that he did in the greatest for me was casting Kelly Marie.
for celebration, in case you didn't know.
This is your fourth time playing Chewie.
Yes, sir.
Are there any differences to the actual Chewie outfit that you're wearing, the actual Chewie costume?
I believe it has been this way since 1977. So, no. I mean, and I just want to say, can we get a big applause for my mentor, Mr. Peter Mayhew? If it wasn't for his unique physicality, I don't think Chewbacca would be as memorable, and I don't think we would be seeing him here today, anticipating his upcoming appearance in the film, because the character is just so beloved, and you guys have shown it with your t-shirts and the kind words all throughout these 5 incredible years that I've become this transformed into this character, and I'm just so grateful for everyone who's been supportive. Let's go, Chewie!
Why do you think that Chewie is such a beloved character? What do you think? What does Chewie mean? Because we don't know what Chewie is saying. He's a presence. What do you think his presence means?
Well, I think for me, playing Chewbacca is sort of a duty at this point, because when I was sitting in our living room carpet, wide-eyed, watching the saga start, and Luke drinking that blue milk and seeing Chewbacca for the first time, I was sure that in this world there's a place for everyone, and that I have to show everyone that Chewbacca, and no matter how big or small you are, there's a place for you in this world, and that's what I believe.
And finally, Jonas, what do porgs taste like?
They taste best fried.
I want to know what it was like shooting in Jordan. What was it like to be out there for all of this is a question for any of you. What was it like to be out there in that desert? Anthony, compare that to Tunisia. What was Jordan like compared to Tunisia?
Jordan was a truly remarkable experience. The first day driving out there on the set, it was my wife Christine who said, "But this is Ralph McQuarrie's painting. The backdrops, those stone fascias that you're looking at." And I would get goosebumps every day we drove out 45 minutes from the hotel. And it was, it sounds corny, it was beyond a privilege to be there. And remarkably, the desert put up with us. Every day it tried to gain itself back to cover the roads that had been built to put us in, to say goodbye, no, enough, leave us alone. It was the most astounding setting to be in. And the Jordanian people, the Jordanian army, everybody there really were part of our kind of family. It was a glorious experience.
Kathy and JJ, how long were you guys in the desert?
Well, actually, we had a crew there prepping for months prior to us arriving, and then we shot for about 3 weeks.
Where's the nearest bar, JJ?
No, Stephen, we were working. It was an amazing thing, and we had hundreds of people in unbelievable costumes that Michael Kaplan designed. We had incredible creatures that Neil Scanlon and his team designed. So to be there with literally hundreds of people and in the heat of it, and having to take food breaks and bathroom breaks and prayer breaks, and it was a whole thing. But we got through it and actually finished a day ahead of schedule, which was kind of fun.
And sandstorm breaks. Remember that? There'd be times when you'd see these big, huge red clouds coming over. We'd be in the middle of shooting, and everyone would have to take cover and go into tents, and sometimes wait an hour or so for these huge sandstorms to blow over. Never thought I'd be in that.
We saw a couple of creature designs just now. Can you tell us who they are? Or can you show us? Are there any other creatures that you can show us?
There's a fun character who just appears, whose name is Claude with a K. K-L-A-D. And he is a friend of the Resistance and someone who actually, it turns out, Chewie brought into the... There's a remember.
Wexley.
But there are so many. When we did episode 7, I felt like it had been. There was no way to top what had been created in terms of creatures. When you see this movie, you'll see that Neil and that whole creature team did it. It's an incredible thing what they've made, what they built, and the actors who performed them and puppeteered them. It's remarkable.
Can I just say, there's one particular creature roaming around on set that I really thought that was wonderfully made. And it was my son who got to visit the set, and I'm just kidding. And it was so lovely working on this film after becoming a father to have my son, that's my son right there. And if you see the wonder, and he's not afraid of Chewbacca, he had a good time with this cast, and especially Daisy. Thank you so much for all the cast, for welcoming little Athos, whose name nobody can pronounce, just like mine, to this Star Wars experience. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you.
No, at the risk of pandering, Star Wars fans are the greatest fans in the world. I know because I am one of them. I've been a Star Wars fan 3 weeks longer than any of you. You can look up online why that's true.
That is true.
It's true. What is that? I would love to tell the story. It's my story, BB-8.
Give me 1 second.
Yes. This is a very quick story. It's when I was in 1977, when I was 13 years old, local radio station was giving away tickets to this movie called Star Wars. Nobody knew what it was. And me and my friends called in, we're like the 8th caller. We got 4 tickets to go see Star Wars. Big blue tickets that you had to go to the local radio station to pick up, WTMA, 1250 on your AM dial. And it was me, Keith Sargey, Haskell Fudenberg, and Haskell Fudenberg's mom, because somebody had to drive. And we handed the tickets in. We said, can we keep the tickets as we went in? Because we didn't know what it was, but it felt like it was special. Because there were big tickets, and it had the Death Star, and it had like an X-Wing fighter sweeping up like that. And it said Star Wars. What the hell was Star Wars? And we walked in, we sat down, and as soon as a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it came on the screen, we got chills because we knew that, A, that was a unique way to look at science fiction, the futures of the past. And also, it immediately set you in that fairy tale world. And then, of course, and no one knew what the hell was going on, and everyone cheered. We didn't know what we were in for. And then 2 hours later, we woke up Haskell's mom and said, movie's over. She didn't like the flashy lights. And we got in the car, went home, and it was a full moon. And I know it was 3 weeks before because there was a full moon, and we all thought it was the Death Star following us. And on Monday, when I got to school, we couldn't explain to anybody how everything was different now, and that we had seen the future. So anyway, that's why I've been a fan 3 weeks longer than all of y'all. So, but I'm sorry, really, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I know you. I think he's got something to say. So.
In this movie, BB-8 has a new friend. Would you guys want to meet him? Let's bring him out. This is Dio.
And what's this fellow's name again?
Yeah, this is Dio. And this is yet another incredible collaboration and creation of Neil Scanlon and the creature and robotics team on the movie. I will say that when we never had Dio exist quite this way. There was a rig and puppeteers and things. And like with Celebration last time, these are different designs that we went through working on it. But like with Celebration last time, when on episode 7, when BB-8 rolled out, and we never had a BB-8 be able to roll out, it's amazing what Celebration makes these geniuses do, and force them to do. So this is really was built for you.
But before we're done here, I got one more question for you, JJ. Can we please show our appreciation to JJ and Kathy and the entire cast? Is there anything else? I
think I know what they want.
By any chance, by any stretch of the imagination, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience?
Who here wants to see a teaser trailer? Okay, before we do this, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Colbert. Jonas. We're going to get out of your way, but mostly, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy it.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight. Roll it again.
No, it's The Rise of Skywalker.
We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight. Always be with you. No one's ever really gone.